Smacking creates respect, abuse creates fear.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you can't tell by the title of this video, this is the controversial parenting tag video. I have actually done this video before on my channel, but I haven't done it with Luke. So I'll link the old video up above, and I'm interested to see what your opinions are on these topics.
Okay.
Are you scared?
Yeah.
I just want to say before we start the video that this is just our opinions on these topics. This isn't saying that you have to do these things or you have to have the same opinion as us, or we're going to be offended if you don't have the same opinion as us. This is just us saying our side of what we think, our opinions of these topics. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Opinions.
Not trying to offend anyone.
Everyone's allowed to have them.
I'm going to get you to answer it first on your end because I've already done this tag.
That's a lot of pressure. Can you give me multiple choice?
No.
Damn it.
The first one is pro-life or pro-choice?
Pro-choice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pro-choice.
Why are you pro-choice? Pro-choice.
Because... Oh god, this is tough.
Question one, fail.
Pro-choice because everyone should be able to choose. Like, I feel like there's a lot of situations where babies would be born, and if that baby could be asked questions, it would be like, yeah, I'd rather have not been born into that situation, thank you.
Fair enough.
Basically that's it.
I'm gonna unzip this so I don't look like a prude.
Hello.
I am no, wait, what?
Yeah, I had to go think about it too. Yeah.
I am pro-choice as well, so I basically exactly what you said. I just more so believe that it's a woman's right to choose what happens to her body after something like that happens. And you know, the other side of the argument is, well, shouldn't have got pregnant, but that's easy to say when you're not in the situation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I should have mentioned something about the woman's choice too, because I agree with that. I said one thing about I didn't want to go on forever. Anyway.
Baby wearing.
What? You
choose to wear your baby to the shops, or you choose to wear them around the house because they cry and they don't want to be put down or something like that.
Oh, first of all, I think the term baby wearing is pretty funny. Like, you're wearing a baby, but I guess you are. Like, wearing a backpack. Anyway, I didn't know that was a controversial thing.
Yeah, neither did I when I first saw it. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it either. I didn't realise that it was...
Yeah, like what?
I didn't realise it was controversial.
What's the controversy with it?
I don't know, maybe you're like coddling your baby or something.
What's that word?
I don't know, some people say you can spoil your newborn by holding them too much and then they become
I kind of agree with that, but I just feel like that's a different thing.
Circumcision.
I haven't really heard many good arguments for it. A lot of people think that the cleanliness is like a thing, but I feel like there's lots of parts of your body that you would chop off if you couldn't keep yourself clean.
That's a good point, actually.
Like, if I can't keep in between my toes clean, does that mean I chop my toes off? I don't know. Probably not. No, I don't know. I don't really get it. It was obviously a religious thing, and I'm not a religious person, never have been, not even close to being one, and I don't see the point of it.
My opinion on this is so, not on the fence, but just like, it's just every person's individual choice when it comes to this. Like I said at the beginning of the video, everyone has their own opinions on everything, but when it comes to circumcision, I have heard the cleanliness thing that's the pro of it, and also I've heard of plenty of people needing to get circumcised later on in life because of issues with whatever it may be, whether it be infections or something didn't grow right and the foreskin is getting in the way or something like that. Like, I've heard of multiple stories, and I could see how you would rather have it done as a baby and not remember it than have it done when you're like 10 or something like that.
If it's for a medical thing when later on, I feel like that's a whole different topic altogether.
Yeah, well, you can't predict that, that's the thing. You don't know if that's going to happen in the future, so it's like...
Yeah, but you don't just chop it off just in case.
No, we're talking about babies, though.
Yeah, I don't believe in that.
Yeah. Adoption.
What's the controversy with that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, I think adoption's fine.
I feel like we are so, when it comes to some particular questions in this like tag, we're so one-minded one way or the other, maybe, that we're just like, I don't understand why that's in there. Like baby wearing or adoption. I'm sure there are reasons that people don't agree with both of those things, but we are so like for the other side that we're just like, what do you want? Yeah, I don't know, adoption, all for it. Good on both sides, whether you're like unable to provide for your baby and you're choosing to have your baby and give them up for adoption, or you can't make a family yourself, or you want to adopt, I'm all for it on both sides.
Yeah.
Baby piercing.
Baby piercing, like getting their ears pierced?
Getting their nose and their tongue, no, just their ears. I'm assuming.
Well, where do you stop? Like, why is it, why is it just the ears okay and not everything else? Like, obviously someone's decided at some point, it's okay to stab a hole through the baby's ear, but not through its nose.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't really agree with it. I don't really agree with much stuff where a baby is having stuff done to it where it can't say no, like...
Other than abortion.
Well, it's not really born yet. You can't abort a baby that's born. I don't really agree with that. Like, why not just wait until the kid can make its own decision?
Yeah, when it comes to something like that, I don't know. I just, like I said, it's everybody's own personal opinion when it comes to that. And I see plenty of little girls with their ears pierced and they look so cute, but I personally wouldn't do it until, I don't know, I just feel so bad. I couldn't sit there and watch them do it. I'd just feel terrible. So yeah, with baby piercing, I personally wouldn't do it, but I'm not gonna like shame someone for doing it, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't shame anyone for any of this stuff.
Yeah.
This is just what I would personally feel.
I know, I have plenty of friends that have their daughter's ears pierced.
Yeah.
Here we go, here's one. I'm so interested to hear your opinion on this one. Breast milk versus formula.
I feel like it's just like, if you can breastfeed, then yeah, but if not, it's not such a big deal to be on formula.
Like, if you can breastfeed, should you try? If those women who just don't even bother trying and they just go straight to formula, how does that sit with you?
I feel like that's a pretty rare situation where the mother just can't be bothered and doesn't do it.
Oh, that happens all the time.
Oh, okay.
Most of the time. Like, most women that don't breastfeed, it's like, this is too much work, this is more work than I thought it was, I'm just going to do formula.
Yeah.
Because breastfeeding is hard work. It is not easy. You go into it thinking, oh, you just stick this kid on your boob and it eats. That is not the case. It is it's hard work.
I guess everyone's got their own reasons. Like, for the person who just seems lazy and like they don't want to do it, maybe it's stressing them out, which is not a good thing anyway. Like, you don't want to stress that mum, it's going to stress that baby, it's going to whatever. Like, formula I don't think is a bad thing. I get that breast milk has all this special stuff in it and it changes for your baby and whatnot, but there's so many people that have been raised on formula and you could not line them up and tell the difference.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not worth the stress if that's what it's going to cause.
I feel the same. If it, like, breastfeeding can be pretty stressful, especially if you have issues like your baby has a tongue tie or they're not latching properly or whatever it may be. Milk supply issues is a thing as well. It can be so stressful, and for some mums, they would rather just go on formula and know their baby's getting what they need and know that their baby's going to grow and get the nutrients and things like that. So I don't have anything against formula, but I feel like you should at least give it a try once with one baby. Does that make sense? Like, you have your first baby, give it a go. If you don't like it, or it's not for you, or it's too hard, whatever, go on formula. Like Luke said, you can't line them up and be like, that kid was like breastfed and that kid was formula. It's not, that just doesn't happen. But I feel like, for me anyway, because I thoroughly enjoyed breastfeeding and I really enjoyed the experience, the bonding experience. I feel sad for anyone who misses out on that without trying, if that makes sense. But at the same time, if it had been a stressful situation for me and she had a tongue tie or something like that, I would have gone to formula. Like, I stress about everything. So I would have been like, okay, formula, probably. I don't know, you don't know unless you're in a situation. But have you heard the term fed is best?
Nope.
There's like breast is best, which is people say breast milk is best. And then the counter argument is no, fed is best. Like, it's better to feed your baby. I believe in all the benefits of breast milk. Like Luke said, the antibodies change in it depending on what your baby needs, whether they're sick, the environment around you. I think that's a really, really cool thing. And I enjoyed having that aspect of breastfeeding to make me feel better if she was sick, or if we were in an environment that was not great, like a hospital or something like that. Just for example, I felt good knowing that I could breastfeed her and help in some kind of way. I'm more towards breastfeeding, but like Luke said, if you can't, or it's not for you or whatever, I have nothing against formula feeding either. I'm interested to hear this one. Actually, I think I already know your answer on this one. Cry it out. The cry it out method.
Yes. Like, obviously there's so many little details you get into. Like, I could sit here and talk about it for like an hour. Yeah, like, I feel like as long as you know that your baby or kid, especially kid, like, as they're a baby, it's a little bit different, but as they get on to like 12 months and onwards, I feel like as long as you know they've got everything they need, they're fed, they're not going to be thirsty, they're not too hot, they're not too cold,
They have a clean bum.
They have a clean bum, like, let them cry for a while. I don't know, like, you can go in to start off with just to make sure they're okay. Like, maybe they're showing signs of having an upset tummy, like they're all cramped up or something like that. But if they're just crying just because they want you to come into the room, and most parents know their babies well enough to know that that's the case. A lot of people say, well, how do you know? You just don't know. But I feel like you do know if you pay enough attention to your kid.
You learn their cries
Yeah.
if you pay enough attention. I didn't do that, I just went in.
So you can go in there, you can know their cries, you can go in there a little bit to like just check on them and make sure they're okay. But yeah, it's another thing where like every kid is different too.
Yeah, true.
Every kid is just so different, but I do believe crying it out, and the earlier you can do it, the better. You've just got to be comfortable knowing that they've got everything that they need before you let them cry for 5 minutes or whatever it is.
I feel like when you say the earlier the better, I don't agree with that, because when you've got a newborn baby who has literally lived inside of you for 9 months, their entire life, they don't know anything other than you. And then they're born, and then they just want you, and you just dump them in a room and leave and don't come in.
No,
when they're a newborn, I feel like it's completely fine to go in whenever they cry, because they need you. Like, that's... They don't know anything other than you. So just to like birth them into this cold world and stick them in a room and not go into them when they're crying, that's not... I don't agree with that.
So as long as they've got everything they need.
Yeah, but they
need
you.
So when they're a newborn, they need your comfort.
Yeah, they need you.
Yeah.
I think
as they get older, they don't need your comfort. They need to be able to do it themselves.
As they get older, they learn that, oh, if I cry, mum's going to come into the room. Yeah. And that's when you need to be like, okay, you're okay now. Like, you're fed, you've got a clean bum, you're happy or whatever.
Yeah, obviously you're not just going to let a newborn cry.
Yeah.
That's what I said, as they get older it gets
but then
more.
you said the earlier the better, and it was confusing.
It is the earlier the better, because like, they get to a point where they shouldn't need you to calm them down to get to sleep.
What age do you think that is?
I don't think there's a particular age. It's just like when your kid gets to that point.
I think they don't recommend cry it out. It's so different because everybody has a different opinion, but on the internet from what I read, it's like before 5 or 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't really be doing it before that.
Yeah, I think 5 or 6 months was like, don't do it before that point, but...
I'd say somewhere between 5 months and like a year.
Yeah.
Just depends on your kids so much. Like usually about 6 months they realise, I don't actually need mum, but I'm going to cry because it feels nice when she comes in and pats my butt. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by the earlier the better. Once you realise that that's what they're doing, I think the earlier you cut it out the better, because if you do it for another 3 months, they've really gotten into that pattern of like, if I cry, mum's gonna come in.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just let their kid cry until they go to sleep.
Yeah, it depends how old they are.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, I got to a point with Talia where I was at my wit's end and I needed to not be near her. Does that make sense? Like, I needed a minute to myself, so I would leave and just let her cry.
Yeah.
For like 10 minutes because I needed 10 minutes to myself, and that's completely fine. Like, that's okay, especially considering I was completely by myself. I raised Talia by myself when she was a newborn until she was 14 months old. I had no one else to help me to like tag team in and go in and shush and pat and whatever. It was just me. So I had no choice but to just let her cry sometimes when I was overwhelmed and I needed a second to myself, and I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
Because you need to look after you too. It's not just about baby. You're important as well.
You're going in there to comfort a baby. If you're stressed, you're not providing any comfort anyway. So.
No, that's true. Smacking.
I feel like a lot of people misunderstand or have these thoughts about what smacking is, and so they think it's this really terrible thing where you're just constantly like smacking your kid all the time and just like constantly hurting them or whatever. It's not like that. Like, I am for smacking, but I feel like the people who have never smacked their kids and are fully against it, they just feel like we're always just here like smacking our kid every 2 seconds. Like,
yeah, that's how I felt.
I've literally had to smack each of my kids maybe like 2 or 3 times in their whole entire lives.
Yeah.
But because I did it early enough on and I did it at the right times, they knew. They were like, oh, I better not do naughty stuff because I might get a smack, and then I never had to smack them again. I asked my kids just the other day, do you remember the last time you got a smack? Like, one of them is 6, one of them is 10. So do you remember the last time you got a smack? To each of them individually, and neither of them could remember.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, no, I don't know. Oh, but I think I remember one time maybe. Oh yeah, when was that? Like, what happened? Yeah, I don't know. So like, it hasn't scarred them or anything, but they're really, really well-behaved kids because they knew from a very early on age that there's a hierarchy. Like, I'm the boss, you do as I say, and that's how it goes. Like, obviously they've got their own freedoms. My kids have a great life. They're able to do basically whatever they want, but they're not naughty.
Yeah.
The most I ever have to do is raise my voice, and that's it. So because I smacked them those couple of times, and it wasn't like I left bruises on them or something crazy, like that's abuse, that's not smacking. It was just enough to make them think, oh crap, I can't just do whatever I want.
Yeah, my opinion in my old video was I'm all for smacking, and Talia was like a week old or something, I don't know, really young. And I was like, I'm all for smacking. Like when it comes to that, I don't have a problem with it because I was smacked as a child by my dad. Like he smacked me, and then my mum took it further, and she was the abuser. But so I was like, I know both sides of it. I know, you know, where the line is and what's okay and what's not. But as Talia grew older, I just couldn't bring myself to do it, and I just couldn't. Like I've talked about it openly on my vlogs and in my videos. I just couldn't handle the thought of smacking Talia. I also don't want her to be one of those kids that just does whatever she wants and knows she can get away with anything because I'm not going to do anything because I'm too scared. So I'm not against smacking, and I have smacked Talia a couple of times, like on the bum. And like you said, just from that 1 or 2 times that I did it, she knows now when I say don't do something or raise my voice that I'm being serious, and she could get a smack. She still doesn't know what a smack is. Like she doesn't understand when I say, do you want a smack? She thinks I'm saying, do you want a snack? And she says yes.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what a smack is. Like I haven't done it enough or like enforced it enough that she understands, but she knows that, like the hierarchy thing you're talking about, she was my boss before I met you. Like she bossed me around, she told me what to do without even talking, and I just did it. Like she was the boss. Like I'm starting to change that. I've also spoken openly about my struggles with discipline with Talia, and we've made baby steps to where now she understands that I'm the boss, and when I say no, I mean no. And it's improving like tenfold, like so much. Yeah. She understands I'm the boss now, and that's great. But I wouldn't put it all down to smacking. That's been behavioural changes and me not just caving into her cries every 10 seconds as well. But yeah, I don't have anything against smacking, but I can absolutely understand why some people choose not to smack their kids. Also, smacking is illegal in a lot of places. Like it's not legal overseas to smack your kids. So some, like what I got on my last video was, I can't believe it's even legal over there to smack your kids. That's horrible, blah, blah, blah. Like that's what I got on my last video. That lady smacked her kid with a wooden spoon, she got sent to jail. Yeah,
that's using like a weapon to harm your child. That's different.
I got smacked with a spoon.
Yeah, but I'm not comparing it to you. I'm just saying like that's different to smacking. Hitting a kid with a wooden spoon is different. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I got hit with a wooden spoon too, but like it's just different. Like
yeah, these days. Back in the day though, when it wasn't even a thing, it wasn't something that everyone just smacked their kids back in the day. I mean, teachers
used to smack kids with rulers and stuff in school, and that was okay.
Yeah, good point.
So,
could you imagine?
Yeah, there's a difference. Like, smacking creates respect, abuse creates fear, because that's what people were saying, like, you're just creating fear, like that's how you're controlling your kids with fears. Like I guess to an extent, but I like to think of it's more of a respect thing. If you abuse your kid, they're gonna fear you, and that's not okay.
Yeah, I didn't fear my dad at all. Like, but I respected him because he, like, oh, if I'm naughty, I'm gonna get in trouble, and what he says goes, and I respect his rules because I'll get in trouble if I don't. Whereas with my mother, I was just plain scared of her.
Yeah, and that's different.
Yeah.